Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Inside the Museum. My name is Megan, and I'm an educator at HistoryMiami Museum. Today we're going to be talking about some megafauna that used to live in South Florida. Megafauna just means big animals. In particular, there was a lot of megafauna that lived in Florida until about 10,000 years ago. After that, a lot of that same megafauna went extinct. Extinct means they're no longer living. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about mammoths and mastodons. They may look similar, but there are a few key differences. They're actually only distant cousins. Mammoths are the closest relative to the modern-day Asian elephant. They grew to be about 10 to 12 feet tall and had these long, curly tusks. Mastodons, on the other hand, were a little smaller. They only grew to be about 8 to 10 feet high, but they were around on Earth approximately 20 million years before mammoths, so they were much older. There were several different species of both mammoths and mastodons, and both went extinct about 10,000 years ago. Scientists know that both mammoths and mastodons used to live in Florida because they found the remains of them here. They're bones. Another word for these bones is fossils. Let's take a closer look at some replica fossils of mammoths and mastodons. A replica is a copy or a model of something. What part of the body do you think this is? Do they look similar or different? These are both teeth. This one is a mammoth tooth, and this one is a mastodon tooth. Let's take a closer look at each. The mammoth tooth has this wide, flat crown, and then it has a root extending upwards. The surface of the tooth is textured. Do you see those divots there in the tooth? Now the mastodon tooth is a little bit funnier looking. It has these huge cusps on the crown of the tooth and a lot more roots than the mammoth tooth. It's not exactly what I think of when I think of a tooth. Let's look at the two side by side. There are similarities, but there are also quite a few differences. What can we learn from these differences? Well, actually, we can learn quite a bit. These teeth tell us about the diets and lifestyles of these animals. Mammoths were using their flat teeth to grind softer vegetation like grass and leaves. This means that they were grazers like elephants are today. Mastodons with these sharper and more irregular crowns on their teeth were using those to consume sticks and rougher vegetation. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Inside the Museum. I hope to see you again soon.